business and founders of the Extreme Customer Service Directory, Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer, are inspiring you to get your business right. They know that customer experience isn't just another thing, it's the only thing. Let's join Angel and Eric for today's program.
Hello and welcome to the Experience Pros Radio Show with Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer. Very nice to have you along with us today. We're here to remind you that small business is big business and your business is our business. Angel is off in Phoenix, Arizona today, hanging out at the Small Business Expo, supported by Bill Walsh and his team. And so you've got me and I need you to participate in. So at any point during this program, you'd like to join us and connect with the conversation, maybe give your opinion or your advice, the number to call 303-632-4160. That's 303-632-4160. And a fine how do you do to you. Very nice to have you along on the program today. Trolling around the internet today. We got a great show for you, by the way. Lots of great guests coming up. But in this first segment, I was working through the internet today, and as I am wont to do, is I go kind of through the file cabinet of topics that might be interesting for our listeners. I found one that almost always gets me to stop and think about the words I just read. And this was the title of the article written by Marcel Schwantes, who is the principal and founder of Leadership from the Core. It says 7 brilliant things. Sounds good so far, right? 7 brilliant things emotionally intelligent people do when their buttons are pushed. I don't claim to know exactly what emotionally intelligent people means. So I decided to go through this. Now, we've had plenty of conversations about emotional intelligence, and usually Angel leads those conversations, but you've got me. So we're going to try to figure our way through this as we go. And here's the subtext to the article. If your work demands close contact with people you'd like to avoid, knowing how to respond to them in case of conflict will save you a lot of headaches. And I'll put the disclaimer out right at the top. I love my coworkers so much. I know that, it's me, it's Angel, it's Cher. That's our corporate headquarters at Experience Pros. But, I love them. So this doesn't apply necessarily in the sense of, people I want to avoid. I don't want to avoid, my coworkers at all. However, conflict does happen. Drama happens in the workplace, and we're not immune to that. I mean, anytime you put human beings in the same space, there will always be some type of communication malfunction or whatever that might be. Egos might clash. Buttons can easily be pushed, and people sometimes arrive at different conclusions or the wrong conclusions. And so with that being the case, the Marcel Schwantes, the author of this article, says, in practicing a healthy level of emotional intelligence, the path to managing conflict is choosing to respond rather than react. By responding, things don't escalate so easily. It allows us to create space to consider the situation and decide the best approach to handle things. Something that means exercising patience, and sometimes that means exercising a lot of patience. So here are several ways that we can exercise emotional intelligence. If you think about IQ, that's your intelligence quotient. EQ is the emotional side to that. It's something that we all have to deal with. We all have fuses, right? Short fuses or large fuses, long fuses. Here's step number 1. And I agree with it 100%. Get perspective. Emotionally intelligent people use self-awareness to their advantage to assess a situation, to get perspective, to listen without judgment, to process, and to hold back from reacting head on. At times, it means the decision to sit on your decision. right? Sometimes you want to say the way things are, and this is the way it's going to be, and that's because I told you so. But an emotionally intelligent person will kind of take a step back and gain some perspective. Think over the situation rationally. Try to avoid drama, and you'll eventually arrive at other more sane conclusions. You ever heard the if what is it? 3 out of 4 people are sane in your place, and you don't know who the crazy person is, and you look around and you still don't know who the crazy person is. Likely to be you. It's probably it's probably me being in a moment of honesty, in a moment of authenticity. I probably have a lot of work to do in the emotional intelligence sphere. But I will say this, there have been times, moments of brilliance, call it what you'd like, where I've been able to step back and say, gosh, let's look at it from a different angle. I like the word what if, the phrase what if, in large part because we can use that across several different boards. Years and years ago, we created What If Wednesdays. And the whole idea was to take callers from our listeners, calls from our listeners, and we would ask, they would present a challenge, a problem, a thing that they were stuck in. And we would say, all right, what if you looked at it from a different angle? What if you did this? What if you tried that? And it wasn't so much necessarily meant to be the be all end all in counseling and coaching. It was designed to help people think differently, to get people to jump off the track, to gain perspective. So first thing that Marcel Schwantes says, emotionally intelligent people gain perspective first and foremost. And this comes along with the next one, and that is they take a 6-second pause. I do this. I do this a lot because I know, and it's taken me a lot of years to figure this out, but I know that if I give you my first thought, my first action, my first response, I know that I will more than likely stick my foot in it. So rather than doing that, just pause for a short moment. Let the flood of chemicals being produced slow down a little bit. When you're frustrated or upset, before you say something harsh, take that precious pause to quickly assess the costs and benefits of what you're about to say, and then perhaps what you're about to do, and apply that consequential thinking in the moment that helps you make more careful choices. All right, so the next thing that when we're talking about emotional intelligence is to stay humble. Avoid being triggered and reacting with sarcasm and negative comebacks. And trust me, folks, I am 100% aware that is easier said than done. All right. I'm not saying that any of this is easy, but I am agreeing with the author of this article, Marcel Schwantes, that if we are humble and our ego might be bruised, sure. We can acknowledge a zinger. But the high road really comes from humility, drawing from your inner strength, seeing the other person as a flawed human being, but just like you, and extending compassion and trusting in the moment to hopefully arrive at a different, better, healthier outcome. The next step is to try a little bit of empathy. A person exhibiting emotional intelligence will look at the whole picture and both sides of an issue, and then they will try to feel what the other person is feeling. I've had a significant opportunity to do this in the last couple of days, and in my personal life, in my business life. And when you are empathetic, it is almost always better for both, because you're walking a mile in somebody else's shoes. Okay? How about this? Ask the most conflict diffusing question. Are you okay? The next time somebody flies off the handle, and here's a way to positively kind of take that temper away. Simply, somebody's yelling at you. Stop and ask, hey, are you all right? Are you okay? What's going on? And then listen. What comes next may surprise you. You might just actually open the door for the other person to explain the real issue behind the issue, because most people have an issue behind the issue. And finally, speak from your authentic self. Authenticity, transparency, genuineness always wins the day. Great article. Hope you enjoyed it as well. Have a great show for you, so please don't go anywhere. As you know, we're switching up the videos, so we'll stop this video on our Facebook Live and start a new one for the new topic so that you too can search the internet just like I do.
The Experience Pros, revolutionizing the way people treat people in business.